Your name, please, ma'am?
Afeni Muhammad.
Very good. You're here today for arraignment on the charges of first degree, premeditated, count 2, carrying a weapon with unlawful intent, and a habitual second notice. Mr. Licata, how does your client wish to proceed?
Thank you very much, Your Honor. At this time, my client is asking the court to enter a not guilty plea. This matter set for a probable cause conference of the preliminary exam. I have advised my client of her rights, as well as the charges against her and the potential penalties. We are ready to proceed on those grounds.
On July 11, 2025, 26-year-old Afeni Muhammad was arraigned for first-degree premeditated unaliving and carrying a dangerous weapon with unlawful intent for the slaying of 39-year-old Jennifer Harris just the day before. The unforeseen crime took place inside of a 9-mile McDonald's in East Point, Michigan, not only destroying a family, but completely shocking the community. Afeni was allegedly identified as the female suspect who lost complete control on her manager at work after being sent home on July 10th. Allegedly, from Afeni's point of view, she was being picked on by Jennifer, but there seemed to be more to the story than truly meets the eye. Anyone who knew Jennifer spoke to her character, and by all accounts, she was described as a woman that was kind, giving, and a woman of God. She put in many years at the fast food restaurant chain and worked her way up to the position she was in. There was nothing she was not said to do for her 6 children, and providing for them was her top priority. Tragically, Afeni appeared to be at the end of her rope, and her true issues lied far beyond her employment at McDonald's. In looking into her past, Afeni had recently been dealing with some dark issues in her life and seemed to be a ticking time bomb who lost touch with reality. Just 2 days before the tragedy, she recorded this video, speaking on what she felt was mistreatment on the job.
I sent home early yesterday. I got sent home early today by the same person. I'm telling you, she's a bully. This isn't funny. She needs to understand that just because she's a mother and got children doesn't mean that she can come in the store, disrespecting people, talking to them like everybody's beneath her. She has no respect. And it isn't funny at all. Like, seriously, man, I gotta take care of. And she keeps sending me home early. It's not funny. She's playing games. And then all day, throughout the day, she keeps sending her little racial and then throughout the day, she keeps on, putting negative energy in the air, talking about people, gossiping about people. It's not funny, man. That shit gonna have to stop. She's a bully. I'm telling you. She's a bully. She brings a lot of negative energy in there. She always panic when there's a lot going on, and then she try to manipulate that and make it seem like we ain't doing something right, but we are working really hard and doing great. It's just the fact that she panicked, and I caught her a few times making a mistake, and she tried to hurry up and play it off. Nobody's perfect. It's McDonald's. It happens. You know what I mean? Sometimes, somebody might get confused. So it gets busy, yeah. But she needs to stop playing like she don't be making mistakes. I be catching her. So all that animosity and shit that she keep putting in the air and stuff, then trying to tell me I'm always snapping on people. No, that's false. No, I don't snap on people. I don't go in there doing that. I tell her, no, I make peace. That's what I'm doing. I've been creating peace. So all that negative energy that she's bringing in there and trying to manipulate it, no, that's going to stop. All that negative she's saying about, her personal life, all of that. No, she's bringing all of that in there and then playing games saying she want to take her belt off and beat somebody. Y'all act like my kids in here. No, we ain't your kids. Respect us. Stop talking to us like that. That's crazy. I'm telling you. But to get sent home 2 days in a row, man, and I came in on my off day to make up my time, and she still sends me home early, it's not funny. Somebody gonna have to do something about that. It's not funny. It's not fair. It isn't funny at all. So, she could keep being a bully if she wants to, but that shit going to catch up to her. Because it ain't funny at all. It ain't. Then one day she coming in there talking about some, yeah, I broke my door in half and I had to pull my gun out on my kids since this and that. Well, telling us that, the f*** you telling us you pulled a gun out on your kids for? You sound like a psychopath. That's what I wanted to tell her. She was talking about some she blacked out. I'm like, yeah, you must have had blacked out if you pulled the gun out on your kids. I'm like, what the f*** you telling me this for? To think she's trying to make it seem like that she big dog or some shit. What the f*** about you telling me about you pulling the gun out on a kid? I don't that doesn't scare me. You know what I mean? That doesn't scare me. If she thought she was trying to intimidate me, that didn't intimidate me at all. I don't give a fuck about her telling me about what the she did. You know, and maybe that's why they always fighting her, to defend themselves. They probably felt like their life was out of here with that shit.
After this video started going viral, people started to think that maybe Afeni was a person that might have been mistreated. However, her social media showed a person that was struggling with mental issues and possible DV with a male roommate named Wayne. According to her, Wayne allegedly is a creep who made unwanted advances at her, so she shared a lengthy post with video and text evidence of what was taking place.
I'm just sitting at this park right now. I wanted I had to talk to my neighbor Wayne again and like clear up everything with him, because how I said how like he's always like he always like look at me a certain way or something, and I told him that like I don't want to have sex. I told him that. So it's like, you know, sometimes he would give me something to eat or something if I didn't make anyone on Instacart. I get that, but I told him like I don't want him thinking that that I owe him that just because he do that for me. Sometimes I want him to think that I owe him sex. So now, like, after I told him that, it's like he's been crying and crying and telling me he think I use him, dismissing everything that I do for him and did for him, dismissing the fact that he had this condition that he'd been going through for a long time and nobody can help him but me. I helped him get through it, and I cook, and you know, I don't have a lot of money, but I still make money at work, but you know, I don't have a car right now. I'm still working to get in a car, and he feels like I owe him sex, and now he's mad and crying and trying to make me feel guilty. I need to just calm down. I'm gonna be okay. But I should have known. I'm playing my peaceful music so I don't have to listen to you doing this, and you're interrupting my music, calling my phone. Please leave me alone.
You told me you never ignore me.
Stop.
It was kind of hard to hear, but towards the end of the video, when she was screaming that she did not want to have intercourse, he eventually replied, okay. Her post alongside this video read, "It took a long time for me to process this awful experience that I had faced while trusting to rent a room with a renter partner, someone I didn't know but needed somewhere to live. I've been wanting to share this story, but I took a long time to, because by the time I share this story, I wanted to be able to look at these videos and see myself as evolved and not the same girl in the video now. When I look at these videos, I don't even feel like the girl in those videos. I feel more stronger and powerful than ever before. Everything I've been through throughout these 2 years of staying with that person, it all comes down to it. And that my dad was right. I was better off being homeless, living in my car, living out of my car, than to be under a roof with a creep. And I want to thank everyone who helped me get through the struggle of this mental harm I was facing and all of the harassment I was facing. I want to thank everyone for helping me get through it. When I say I felt so embarrassed and vulnerable, I waited because I knew one day when I had that perfect moment, I would know. And today on Juneteenth is that perfect moment. So thank you everyone for supporting me and helping me get through this. It wasn't easy, but now I never felt more alive. And whoever that girl was he messed with on the job, I want her to know she doesn't have to feel ashamed. And she shouldn't feel guilty at all that Wayne Fisher won't be working there anymore. In the text messages at the end of the video, Wayne allegedly speaks on losing his job for accidentally touching someone, according to the text. But Wayne appeared to have a harmful pattern, a pattern that further destroyed Afeni's fragile mind, and though she said she was stronger, she wasn't. Even though she was having issues at home, there was simply no excuse for Jennifer being unalive. Jennifer made it a point to serve in every aspect of her life, from church usher to volunteering and feeding the homeless. Her life mattered so much, and it was cut way too short. One of Jennifer's co-workers wanted to set the record straight about what took place, saying, "This heartless unaliving today at McDonald's of Jennifer Harris is something that touched me deeply and personally. Jennifer was one of my peers, as I am a member of the McDonald's upper management myself, and I have personally worked and grew to know Jennifer over 2+ years, and she was an amazing woman with a heart of gold and a smile that would light up your spirit. I'm seeing all of these wild remarks about her bullying this young girl and saying she was playing with her money, when that is first off ridiculous, and secondly, so beyond the truth that it is laughable. If you have ever worked fast food, you know that managers are constantly trying to control labor costs and food costs. If the labor is high, we instruct our managers to make cuts. It is on a first in, first out system. And also, since everyone wants to try to justify this awful crime, the young lady was on multiple videos on social media doing dances and videos in the restaurant while on the clock. So let's be real here. If you're playing around on the clock instead of doing your job, shouldn't you get sent home? Yet still, at the end of the day, there's no justification, absolutely none, for unaliving someone. Some of you all are absolutely out of your minds, and if no one will speak up for Jennifer, I will."
Detective Showers, please approach for the swear-to. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear that the information being provided is true and accurate to the best of your information, knowledge, and belief, subject to penalties of perjury?
I do.
Put your hand down. With regard to the defendant, Afeni Muhammad, please set forth a factual basis for the warrant request.
Yes, Your Honor. 7/10/25, McDonald's employee Afeni Muhammad stabbed McDonald's manager Jennifer Harris multiple times with a kitchen knife at the McDonald's restaurant at 179219 Mile. Harris was not armed at the time and died of her injuries. Prior to the stabbing, Muhammad was sent home by Harris for not performing her work duties and told Harris, "I'll be back." Muhammad was arrested on scene and the knife was recovered. Muhammad admitted that she intended to kill Harris and stated that after she was sent home, she drove to a nearby park, decided to come back and stab Harris with a knife that she had inside of her vehicle. When Muhammad returned to stab Harris, she entered the back entrance with a hooded mask over her face in an attempt to conceal her identity and attempted to flee the scene after the stabbing, but was stopped by an armed customer.
And the requested charges are in the first degree, count 2, dangerous weapon carrying with unlawful intent, and there's a habitual second notice offense. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
The warrant is being signed and we can proceed to arraignment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Calling file number 25354, People versus Afeni Badu Muhammad. Counsel appearances for the record, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Sean Hayes, on behalf of the people.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Please, this honorable court, may I give a copy on behalf of Mrs. Muhammad, who does appear via Zoom.
Your name, please, ma'am?
Afeni Muhammad.
Very good. You're here today for arraignment on the charges of murder in the first degree, premeditated, count 2, carrying a weapon with unlawful intent, and a habitual second notice. Mr. Licata, how does your client wish to proceed?
Thank you very much, Your Honor. At this time, my client is asking the court to enter a not guilty plea. This matter set for a probable cause conference of the preliminary exam. I have advised my client of her rights, as well as the charges against her and the potential penalties. We are ready to proceed on those grounds.
Very good. Ma'am, do you understand the nature of the charges against you to your satisfaction after talking to your attorney?
Yes.
Very good. I will go ahead and enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. Are you requesting a court-appointed attorney?
Yes.
I will appoint an attorney to represent you. We'll set this matter for a probable cause conference on July 23rd, 2025 at 1 p.m. The preliminary examination will be on July 30th, 2025 at 1 p.m. As to bond, Mr. Licata.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Just briefly, my client is 26 years old, does live in a great city at this point. Your Honor, my client is a high school graduate. In fact, is actually taking some online classes for college for physical therapy. degree. Your Honor, there are some disturbing facts in this particular matter, but there are facts that haven't been brought out yet, and my client is extremely anxious to have those facts brought to light during the pendency of this case. She was in an extremely relationship that was not only mental but physical, that involved alcohol issues, which is where the habitual second stems from, and her prior record. Your Honor, my client is a helpful person. She's a giving person. She's actually is credited with saving a life because of a 60-year-old who had skin cancer that she may go to the doctor to find out that that's exactly what it was, and that person is doing extremely well right now. I understand the facts that have been laid out today in the warrant, but at this time, Your Honor, we are asking the court to consider a bond in this manner that is appropriate, that my client can meet, so that she can meet with her attorneys and prepare her defense in this manner. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the people?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Pursuant to court rule, the court is well within its authority to grant no bond involving any case involving murder. In this case, we are requesting no bond for this defendant. Also provided within the court rules are certain factors for this court to consider when determining whether to grant any bond at all, and in this case, we are requesting no bond as I indicate. First of all, the court can consider whether or not this defendant is a threat to the community. She entered a public building with other individuals, other employees that were present. She produced a weapon that was a knife longer than 3 inches, and she stabbed the victim multiple times, up to possibly as many as 15 times, eventually causing her death. There were other employees that were present at the time, some of which attempted to help the victim after the stabbing occurred. That alone is enough to show that there is a threat to the community. She then ran from the building to her vehicle, presumably with the intent to flee from the scene. She was stopped by a helpful bystander. You're also able to consider the likelihood of conviction in this case, given the facts as laid out by Detective Showers and the information that the prosecutors have reviewed in order to charge this defendant. There is a very high likelihood of conviction. And then finally, the defendant does have a prior instance of at least one that I'm aware that involved a stabbing, similar obviously to the stabbing that occurred in this case involving a knife. So given all of those factors, and given the fact that this court does have authority to give no bond to defendants charged with murder, I am asking at this time for no bond in this case.
Thank you, counsel. The court has reviewed the charges and the circumstances surrounding this case. The defendant is facing various serious charges, including murder in the first degree, which is one of the most serious criminal offenses in our state, carrying penalties up to life without parole. Additionally, carrying a dangerous weapon with unlawful intent further underscores defendant's potential threat to public safety. Defendant has a prior criminal record out of Virginia for malicious wounding. It was actually felony malicious wounding that was reduced to unlawful bodily injury concerning a stabbing, and that is what gives rise to the habitual second. And in determining bond, the court must look to the factors outlined in Michigan Court Rule 6.106. Number 1, the seriousness of the offense and the danger posed to the community. The charges here involved a violent crime with a weapon, indicating a substantial risk to the public. The court finds there is a significant threat to public safety, and therefore the bond must reflect that risk. Number 2, the weight of the evidence against the defendant. While the evidence is not fully before us and the defendant is cloaked with the presumption of innocence, the nature of the charges along with the prior criminal history suggests that there is substantial evidence against the defendant. Defendant's criminal history: the defendant has a violent criminal past. The history supports the court's concern that the defendant may engage in further violent conduct if she is released. The defendant's ties to the community: while the defendant is relatively young at 26 years of age, there's no indication that she has any significant stabilizing ties to the community that would ensure her return for court appearances. Without these ties, the court is concerned about the likelihood of flight. Number 5, defendant's risk of fleeing or failing to appear. Due to the severity of the charges and the habitual offender status, it makes the defendant a high risk for flight. The court finds that this factor weighs heavily in favor of a high bond amount. Substance abuse or mental treatment, although there are no reports at this time suggesting that the defendant suffers from mental health or substance abuse issues that would mitigate the risks posed by defendant's release, the court is, after considering all of these factors, going to be setting bond at $25 million, cash surety only, with conditions. If the defendant is able to meet those conditions, she must be on a GPS steel cuff tether. She is not to leave the state of Michigan. She is to report her address within 24 hours of, she must report any change of address within 24 hours. There would be stringent daily contact with community corrections as to her whereabouts. She also would be required to have alcohol and drug testing as condition of her release. There would be no contact with the family of the decedent, any witnesses. She is not to return to McDonald's. And if she is unable to post the $25 million bond, she will remain in custody pending further proceedings. And that concludes this matter for today. We will see you back here, ma'am, on July 23rd at 1 o'clock for your probable cause conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're all set, ma'am.
My thoughts and prayers go out to her family and loved ones. This tragic case is beyond what Afeni claims Jennifer did to her. Afeni has way bigger issues going on and was liable to snap at any time on any day. The proof is in the pudding, and her social media shows that her struggles were way too real. Let me know your thoughts. Also, please don't forget to comment your thoughts and prayers for this family and our 6 children in this difficult time, and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.